Good day to Sir Shariza, and we are from Group Sparkling are here to present about presentation of article review. Next slide. Okay, let us introduce ourselves. Me, myself, Livia Anisha, Aishwari Sivaraman, Samala Kasirajan, Kirtana Devi, and also Priya Darshini.
Good day, sir. My name is Sarmala, and I'm going to present on overall introduction. First, reading and writing skills are the most basic language skills for the Ministry of Education. That include these skills in the current SPM to score English and also in MUE. Making a more suitable lesson plan for focusing on a student in a possible way is a teacher's responsibility. This article is to have a clear view on the understanding of several articles mentioning the writing and reading skills. Next. Okay, article review 1. And the title is Student Teachers Experiences in Developing Oral History Text from the Teaching of Reading in a Form 2 ESL Classroom. The author is Dr. Azliana Abdul Aziz, J. Kumari Ana Perempuan Narayanasamy, Dr. Maslawati Muhammad, and Dr. Mela Mud Yunus, Hamida Abdul Hamid, and year of publication is 2019. The publisher is Global Academic Excellence, GAE, Third International Conference on Social Sciences, Humanities and Technologies, ICSHT 2019.
This research is a qualitative research where it involves case study method where 30 TESOL student teachers who wrote the oral history text were interviewed using various instruments such as journals, document analysis, and also interviews.
Okay, let me tell about the background of study for the Article 1, which is the roadmap to upskill teacher to use the Common European Framework of Reference for Language, which we call as CEFR, was produced by the English Language Standard and Quality Council. The governments have to move, the concern over the government's move is that there is an underlying assumption that English text is produced in the UK by its native speakers are very far more superior in terms of language and content, and not and that the only authority of the English language. The second point is the researcher's objective is to find out what the extent of student teachers have gained from creating the oral history text. This will enable them to themselves represented in a language that will become a less foreign and also eventually feel a sense of ownership of the language.
Moving on to the problem statement of Article 1. Firstly, Rose Ballot 1978 in Tomlinson 2018 specified that textbook focuses too much on different readings, which entail students to recall facts and information at the expenses of aesthetic reading and do little to promote both enjoyment of the language and acquisition of it. Moreover, Tomlinson 2008 asserts most course materials are preventing learners from achieving effective engagement by presenting them with bland and safe text. Next.
regarding the objectives of the study. So the first one is to actually cognitively and effectively engage learners in a reading class and to encourage students to create more non-commercial local materials. Like we are avoiding actually international related things. We are focusing more on local books, textbooks and learning materials, and to introduce new resources which can enable the students to think creatively and also critically.
For the literature review part, as we can say, according to Rosenblatt in 1978, a reader performs two categories of reading, afferent and aesthetic. Different reading is reading to take away, which is a particular bits of information. In afferent reading, the reader's attention is focused mainly on what they will remain as a residue after a reading. So you can see the information to be acquired or the logical solution to a problem, which is the action to be carried out. For the second point, language materials critiques on professionally and commercially developed in ERT materials because these workbooks are often written for the benefit of the teachers and to take a little consideration for students' afferent reading. It also, I can say that to entail students to recall the facts and information at the expenses of aesthetic reading as they can relate themselves to the stories on family issue discussed in the reading text. Next slide, please.
Good day, sir. I'll be presenting about the methodology. So the first is about the qualitative research, which is relevant since the researchers wanted to get a better and more in-depth comprehension of the students' teachers' experiences when creating oral school textbooks for Form 2 ESL reading lessons for the more knowledgeable. And also the classroom observations about the students were required to keep a personal reflective notebook in which they recorded what they had learned and also the difficulties they encountered during the processes to learn more in next classes. Individual interviews conducted with student instructors to learn more about their experiences, generating oral history text for reading instruction at ESL classroom for the further knowledge and also to improve their comprehension level. Next slide.
On the findings. So for the writing skills are divided into three stages, which are pre-writing, while writing, and post-writing. And implementation stage is also being applied in this research. This is to test the mastery level of the students. It means the proficiency level and also the fluency level among the students. So a teacher always need to consider the needs and interests among students. They will have to know the preferences and their wants in terms of learning. So for instance, teaching while telling stories, in the process of while writing, a teacher must ensure that appropriate vocabularies are used, not using, bombastic kind of words, which is not, which like students don't know about that. So it'd be easy, like difficult for them to learn. So that's for findings. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the finding, critical discussion, the teachers have come to a realization on aspects to consider in producing oral history texts, and especially in writing. So micro teaching makes the student teachers to understand and conduct the class in a better way. It means micro teaching is a subject where future teachers will be taught on how to manage classes and students. So this will help the students to, separate types of questions and ways of writing suitable text for the students. Next slide, please.
Regarding the reviewer's critical voice, is for the better comprehension of reading principles and material development is crucial in an ESL environment for better knowledgeable classroom environment.
Regarding what we're going to recommend from the research is the curriculum planners and developers should come with more creative learning materials.
Moving on to the next article, which is a review on impact of blended learning on the English writing skills. The author is Xiaojin Zufans and Q Sina, year of publication 2020. Publisher is Innovative Teaching and Learning Journal. Page 41 to 50, and the volume is 1 and edition is 4.
Regarding the type of research that contains mixed methods, quantitative and also qualitative. This is because 25 studies related to the impact of blended learning on EFL students' writing skills were studied.
So for the background study of the second article, English is one of the widespread languages and used by almost all the people around the world because of the constant development of technologies such as internet, according to Pakir in 1999. It can say that English is play a crucial role in education, and also students are required to use it efficiently since it's very professional and in a job for market nowadays. Technological advances have been implemented in education in recent years and also have played an incredibly important role in teaching and learning foreign languages, according to Kopelian 2001 and Warschauer and Haley in 1998. The approaches in English language teaching and also the learning have changed since the distance learning and also virtual education, blended learning, and other tools have been the significant learning platforms that have been attracted teachers and also learners.
Moving on to the problem statement for Article 2, sorry. The first one is Adas and Bakir 2013 stated that English as second language, which is ESL, and also EFL, English as foreign language, students face problems in communicating their ideas effectively because of the lack of creativity and sufficient knowledge in English writing skills, and also writing become much more complicated for them. Additionally, Meller and Noor 2011 specify that ESL and EFL students' performance in English language skills has been unsatisfactory over the past years.
The objective of the study is to require writers to make composition involving content, organizational structure, and mechanics appropriately to convey meaning to writing simultaneously, to actually overcome more possibilities for learners to write and exercises on the component of the skills, and to improve people's capacity to convey ideas and feelings through writing. Effective ways of practice and teaching are required.
So moving on for the literature review for Article 2, writing skill is considered as an essential part of everybody's life, which we can say in business, in creativity, and also in scholarly activities, according to Keshta. But according to So and Lee in 2013, it is considered as a more complex skill than other language skill, since it requires more comprehensive and also systematic instruction. So the second point is the teaching approach combines the advantage of face-to-face and online learning to suit individual differences, according to Bersin and Associates in 2003, which is a flexible, accessible, and also meaningful way of teaching and learning, according to Sefner and Kepler in 2015.
Methodology for the Article 2 is about the researchers look for publication in 4 different journal database, including Web of Science, Springer, ERIC, and Science Direct, as well as Google Scholar for their research. Next, the term effect of blended learning on the writing skills of ESL or EFL learners was used in the search. The abstracts of journals were combed through to locate related university level studies in ESL or EFL writing for the future. Next, 349 publications were acquired from 4 databases, with 25 articles being chosen based on the criteria and is included in the present study for the more knowledge to find the findings.
Right. So based on the researcher, blended learning is a revolution in EFL teaching and learning process. However, it is proven that through this research that the students face many challenges, especially when it comes to writing skills. Um, Teachers make their efforts to facilitate students in better ways. Blended learning makes the mood of learning to be student-centered. So this makes the learning more interesting through collaborative tasks, experiments, and also peer activities. Next slide, please. Okay, so blended learning is absolutely excellent for the students to be practiced in the 21st century. However, the proficiency level of the students should be considered. So this is because blended learning is a very broad area where everything is expected in a perfect way. Students are given motivation, a positive psychological atmosphere, and good grammar skill, and also a good vocabulary knowledge. So therefore, student teachers must become a very good guide for them so that productive students can be shaped. Next slide, please.
Based on the critical voice, blended learning promotes flexible teaching and learning environments, which result in considerable improvements in teaching and learning.
Regarding the recommendation, we recommend that more articles should be reviewed instead of just 25 articles because what we see is there were just 25 articles were used. So if more articles have been studied, more we can actually get a lot of information from the student and also the teacher.
The last article title is Academic Reading and Writing Challenges Among International EFL Master Students in a Malaysian University, and the Voice of Lecturers. Author Manjit Kaur Mehar Singh, year of publication 2019, publisher Open Journal in Education, OJED, volume 9, issue 4, 2019, and the pages are from 972 to 992.
Moving on to the types of research. The research is a qualitative research where the research investigates the academic reading and writing challenges faced by international English as a foreign language master students at the Malaysian University. In addition, 16 lecturers from various graduate programs were also interviewed to discuss in depth the challenges faced by the students.
So moving on to the background of the study. So this setback contributes to international EFL master students facing the hardship with the English language, especially with the academic writing and reading practices in Malaysia at the master level, according to Manji in 2015 till 2017. Therefore, the aim of this study is to investigate a significant issue affecting the international EFL master students' academic performance. In the line with the aim, the investigation involved analysis of the lecturers' views on the challenges faced by international EFL master students in their academic writing and reading practices at the Malaysian University. Next slide.
Okay, problem statement for the third article. And the first one is the use of the English language as the MOI also as its disadvantages, especially for EFL students. Manja 2015 to 2017 International stated that international EFL master students are facing hardship with the English language, especially with academic writing and reading practices in Malaysia at the master's level.
Moving on to the objectives of the study, where we investigate the foreign language master students, and to actually this study focuses on the challenges from the perspective of other stakeholders, such as the lecturers who teach international EFL master students, and to investigate a significant issue affecting international EFL master students' academic performance.
So moving on to the literature review, English is the medium of international academic communication, which we say international master students in Malaysia University experience the difficulty and also challenges in their academic writing and reading practices. This is because that English is not their native country, which means they are not from their, it's not their native language. So the exposure to English is extremely minimal or non-existent. According to SPEC in 1997 reported that writing practices provide avenues for writers to showcase their reading comprehension and also practices by assisting readers with the obtaining information and also generating output through writing. Next slide.
Regarding the methodology for the last article, is the purpose of this study was to see if there was a gap between foreign EFL master students' experiences of academia, reading and writing practices, and the lecturers who taught the learners. The one-on-one interview was conducted using purposeful sampling, which is with 16 professors were conducted in order to obtain a better understanding of the academic writing of foreign EFL master students, in order to become more knowledgeable and insightful about the issues in future. Next is the thematical analysis, which is a qualitative analytic method for discovering, interpreting, and access to better information, which is the themes within data was used to code the data.
All right, so there are lots of challenges faced by students when it comes to academic writing and also reading practices. When it comes to academic writing, students begin to face challenges as there is a lack of English language proficiency and also fluency. So as a result, they find it hard to express ideas, they find it hard to express their ideas through words. So this makes their writing structure to become more unorganized, and some of students intend to cheat in their academic writing by involving in plagiarism. Next, please. All right, so long-term action must be familiarized among the students. So this helps them to polish their skills in advance. As educators, learners should prepare the students by giving appropriate training to boost up their confidence level when it comes to, to reading and writing practices. Cross-cultural learning setting also helps the student to mingle with international students, for instance. Next.
Regarding the reviewer's critical voice, this study will assist the international EFL master's student community specifically. Assist the international EFL master students community, which will help to improve the academic culture at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels.
We recommend that this research must focus on more than one Malaysian university, because in this research they only focuses on one university. So if there is if we focus on more than one, if more than one university is focused, then we can gain a lot of informations from the other students.
So for the conclusion, we can say that from the 3 articles that we review, critical thinking abilities are essential for pupils to have a deeper comprehension of any subject to establish their own perspective. Not only that, developing our communication ability goes in hand with improving our reading and writing skills. Not only that, the further we read and write, the larger our vocabulary becomes, and the more accurately and effectively we can communicate concepts to others. So next slide. So that's all from us. Thank you from Group Sparkling.